Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. Today, I'd like to give you a little insight into the mind of how a lot of guys work. I'm going to give you a peek behind the curtain. Now, I've had the privilege of being a guy for 48 years, and I've done a lot of things in my past that I'm not proud of, and that's why I'm going to share with you today, because one of the things I see all the time, and it really hurts a lot of the members of our community, is that they're in a relationship with a guy who's a good guy, and then all of a sudden they find out that he's cheating, and they can't understand why. Now, I'm not here to condone cheating. I think it's the worst thing to do. I think that, when guys cheat, it's for one of two reasons. It's the first reason is he's simply a boy. He only cares about himself. He only cares about what he wants, when he wants, how he wants it. And he doesn't care how his choices and decisions are going to affect his partner. Not the greatest guy to be in a relationship with. If you want to have some sex, have some fun, great guy to be with, but not the guy to be in a relationship with. The second is that quality guy. The guy that you marry, or you're in a relationship for a while, and then down the road, you're blindsided. Like, where did this come from? That's the guy that we're talking about. That's the relationship that we're going to talk about. So what I want you to understand is that when a good guy cheats, and again, I'm not condoning this, he's doing it because on some level, one or more of his needs isn't being met. And I'm not just talking about the physical needs. That may be part of it, but it's usually something deeper emotionally. There's some emotional need that's not being met for him. And so instead of being a man and communicating that to his spouse, his partner, and saying, look, you know what, I'm unhappy, this is missing for me, or I don't know what's going on. What he does is he seeks happiness outside, and he does so usually in the arms and other body parts of another woman. Again, I'm not condoning this, just helping shining light on this. So I'll give you an example. If a guy, and this happens so often with a lot of married couples, is they're in a relationship, and they get into a routine, they're married and have kids, and the guy doesn't feel like his woman feels that he's significant. He doesn't feel like that knight in shining armor. He doesn't feel like he's special. And the attention that he used to get in the beginning is no longer there. The sex that he used to get in the beginning wasn't there. And he starts to question himself. Am I attractive? Am I good enough? And another woman comes along who pays attention to him, who feeds into his ego, and boom, he strays. Now, I want you to understand something I learned from Tony Robbins is that a human being will violate their values in order to get their needs met. So a guy who's a good man, who has integrity, will violate his marriage, will violate his agreement in order to get his emotional needs met. And it works the same way with women, just to give you an example, because I'm not defending men here. I'm just helping you understand how they work. Okay? So a woman will be with a guy and be in a relationship where the guy is cheating on her. The guy disrespects her. The guy's banging her head against the wall, okay, verbally and physically abusing her, and she won't leave that relationship because that relationship is meeting one or more of her needs. So she'll violate her values on how she wants to be treated. She'll violate her values on how a relationship should be just to stay in something that meets one or more of her emotional needs. Okay, again, I'm not justifying, we're just shining light, helping you understand. Because when a guy cheats, when a guy's unfaithful, and he's a good man, these are one of the inherent reasons. Also, one of the reasons is, quite honestly, is, in the beginning, when you get married, you're with a guy and you're having sex everywhere, and that excitement is there. You're doing it on the pool table, you're doing it out on the back deck, under the stars. And then all of a sudden you get into a routine. It's like, oh, it's Saturday night. Or you know what, I'm too tired today. And that goes on and on and on and on, and goes weeks and months, and the guy doesn't feel alive anymore, because part of what makes him alive is being intimate with a woman. And again, I'm not justifying this. Again, we're just shining light because it helps you understand. So the purpose of this video is, number one, is to help you understand why a good man will cheat, okay? The second reason is to help you understand what you need to do to make sure that your guy will never cheat. I'm trying to be very transparent about my relationship with my wife, Natalie, to help you understand is that I'm not special. I have no problem with commitment. I have no problem being monogamous because my wife gives me everything I need in and out of the bedroom. And if I were to leave and ruin what I have and risk losing that, it'd be the dumbest fucking thing I've ever done. And I feel that with 100% truth in my heart, is that why would I give that up? For what? For 5 minutes of, play with something different? It doesn't make sense. So again, I share this with you because if you're that woman and you're giving your all to a guy and he's lighting you up and you're lighting him up, you got nothing to worry about. And again, this has to be a two-way street. So don't say it's, you just got to meet a guy's need. One of the reasons that I work so hard on being, the best husband I can be is because I want my wife to stay here. I want her to want to be with me, not out of fear, but because I realize she's the best thing that ever happened to me. And so if you take that approach to your guy and you pick the right guy, the guy who wants to do the same thing for you and shows you consistently, then you got nothing to worry about. Okay. Then a guy won't cheat, because if a guy's getting all his needs met, he's not going to go anywhere. Trust me on that. I know a lot of really, really good guys who are in happy, great relationships, and they all feel exactly the same way. So I know I threw a lot at you today. I know this is heavy, but this is one that you might want to watch and really get this, because if you're going to have a great relationship, you got to marry a man. Okay. Stay away from the boys. And most importantly, make sure you communicate with each other constantly to understand what each other needs in and out of the bedroom to be happy and to want to stay in that committed relationship. So as always, it's an honor, privilege. Love to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What are your questions? In the past, did you have someone who cheated? And if you look back now, what was it that he wasn't getting? Okay, not to blame. And was the shoe reversed? Did you cheat? Okay, it's all transparency. You don't have to use your real name or anything, but just be honest, because it helps us understand and work together and support each other so you can ultimately have the relationship you desire and deserve. So a lot at you. Tried to get it all out. Go watch this, share it, learn from it so that you can have the relationship that you ultimately desire. Honor and privilege. I'll see you next time. Much love.